Reece James shares Trent Alexander Arnold's similarity with Gary Neville confession. Reece James and Trent Alexander Arnold have both established themselves as key figures for Chelsea and Liverpool, but neither had plans to become right-backs as youngsters. Reece James and Trent Alexander Arnold are two of England's finest right-backs, but neither had plans to play there initially. The pair were both selected in Gareth Southgate's squad for Euro 2020. Alexander Arnold suffered an injury in a warm-up game which ruled him out of the tournament, but he remains part of the picture. Both he and James have been hugely influential at their respective clubs. Alexander Arnold's delivery has been lauded and is underlined by his assist stats. James meanwhile is one of several Blues youngsters who have recently broken into the first team, having come through the academy. Reece James has come through the ranks at Chelsea. But the 21-year-old admits he first had ambitions of playing further forward and initially hated being pushed back into a right-back role. When I first arrived at Chelsea, I was a striker but then moved to midfield for a couple of seasons, James told the club's website. Then, when I was about 15, I found myself playing right back because there were better players in midfield. I hated it for maybe 2 or 3 years and never wanted to play there. But one day it just clicked and I started loving it. I think the penny just dropped that I wouldn't be playing midfield anymore and this was my new position. Then, I signed my first professional contract when I was 17. I wanted to be a professional ever since I was a young boy here. I was over the moon. Alexander Arnold experienced a similar transition on Merseyside. Having come through the ranks as a midfielder, he eventually slotted in at right back. He was advised that pathways into the first team would open up quicker, so opted to slot into a new role. Who decided the position change? It was me, Neil Critchley and Alex Inglethorpe, he told BBC Sport. Critch was my under-18 manager and Alex was head of the academy. I wanted to get into the first team as soon as possible, and we decided that was the most straightforward route. It was difficult to adjust because when you play higher up you are very rarely isolated in a defensive situation. That was the strangest thing, being one-on-one with someone out wide, with no one to help. I've always enjoyed right back as there is a lot more freedom going forward. It's a lot more chaotic in the middle. The influence of both players highlights the role of the modern-day fullback. That said, confessions from both players that they originally wanted to play in different roles hammers home a jibe. Jamie Carragher famously poked at Gary Neville. He said on Sky Sports, "Nobody wants to grow up to be a Gary Neville." However, with right back now possible England's strongest position, Neville has been keen to hit back in recent years. From saying no one wants to be a Gary Neville, "We've come a long way," he joked.